from Caliacqua has been charged with the murder of his brother, who was 31 years old at the time of his passing, which was last week, Friday night. Last week, Friday, in the night.
Oh gosh.
What?
I will just adjust.
No. I mean, go ahead. Another one. You're gonna adjust something there. Hold a second. Hold a second.
So that the viewers
Also,
on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. All right.
all right.
That's much better.
All right. Sorry about that. Good morning to the folks on the live as well at WFM 99 SVG. So yeah, a 21-year-old has been charged with the murder of his brother, who was 31 at the time of his passing. And I don't know about you guys, but and ladies, boys and girls, but this put me in a kind of mood because it reminds me of the 22-year-old who was also charged with the murder of his brother. This time happening in Georgetown a couple of months ago. I don't know if you remember that one. That one was extremely gruesome. But anyways, condolences to the family because you have lost two. And if I'm speaking to the mother, you have lost two of your sons. One has gone on to the great beyond, and the second one will sit behind bars if he is convicted of this crime. Now, the story says, right, on IWN, story says, and the thing is, I know all of these men. I know all of them. Well, their faces. Personally, no. Conversations with them, no. But you know, when you're from certain communities, you would know people because you pass them very, very often. Down to the last homicide that happened in Cleveland, above Calico, just above Calico there. The accused know him too. Well, him I used to talk to. And the victim know his face too. So the accused, Azari McIntosh, murder work. A Calico man appeared in court on Tuesday charged with murder in connection with the death of his older brother. 21-year-old was charged that on October 31st at Calico with malice aforethought. He caused the death of Zachary McIntosh of Calico by unlawful act. Let me just remind you, it's a brother. He was not required to plead the indictable charge. All right. Prosecutor Inspector of Police Frederick Kitto told the court that the prosecution intended to call 7 witnesses at the preliminary inquiry. Matter adjourned to the 16th of January, and he was remanded in custody. Of course, it mentions his representative there and some points that we would have shared before. On Monday, Detective Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Buju Bailey briefed the media about the case. He told the media that on Friday around 1 p.m., the police at Calico received information regarding an incident in the Calico area on October 31st. Acting on that information, officers went to the MCMH, where they had a conversation with the medical staff, and one, Zachary, was a patient in critical condition, ICU. Around 12:40 p.m. that same day, Zachary was pronounced dead, and police launched an investigation into the circumstances around his death. Now, this one here, post-mortem was conducted on the body on Monday, and the pathologist concluded that Zachary died of blunt force trauma. What does blunt force trauma mean?
Well, first of all, it says he died 10:40 that day. All right, blunt force trauma is injury of the body by forceful impact. Why is it income? Impact, falls, or physical attack with a dull object.
So forceful.
Yeah. So when you get hit with when you get any lash with force, it causes blunt force trauma.
So,
as opposed to penetrating trauma, by contrast, involves an object or surface piercing the skin, causing an open wound, which will be stabbing, chopping, etc.
So, blunt force. A lash.
I wonder what you hit him with.
A lash.
But that will come out in the facts. Or do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. You know, talks usually around the community.
I know, but this I genuinely don't know. But it has to be for somebody to die from that kind of an impact. It has to be with great force. That's one. Or enough force at a particular area.
But in this situation, I'm actually, I don't know the facts of the case, but as with the lack of knowledge that I currently have, I feel bad for him and his family.
You feel bad for the accused?
Yeah. Because we are all familiar with family squabbles. We all used to siblings fighting. I've seen it growing up. I've seen neighbors. I've seen persons in the village and their siblings getting in fighting each other. I can't get in sibling fights because my sibling is my sister. That would be horrible. But I've seen a lot of it, and I'm pretty sure. As I said, I don't have the information on the case, but I don't believe that in the fight his intention was to kill his brother.
You do realize that. Check out what he was charged with. Very seldom he was charged with murder.
Mm-hmm.
Which indicates that there was some intent, not so?
I don't think this is a murder charge.
It says 21,
yes,
man
charged
21
with
charged
murder.
with murder.
Now I was reading the exact charge, malice of forethought caused the death of Zachary McIntosh.
So malice of forethought means what?
I guess it's just basically saying he had time to stop himself from doing what he did. He had time to consider it. It's no longer self-defense. It's not anything like that. He had time to rethink his actions, and he went through it.
Mm-hmm. And a lesser charge would be manslaughter.
Yes.
Right. Now, this ain't a case where they were playing Wrong Dodge or Duck Duck Coopy or whatever game. This had to be of significant force or multiple. So were they fighting or was it?
Keep in mind, right, that a charge is the police accusing you of something. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have the charge correct, because as we saw with what's her name, Adriana King, sometimes these charges are amended. So I'll say I don't know the facts as yet.
That's true. Okay.
So I can't say. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe that he went in there with intent to murder his brother. And I could imagine if their parents are alive, grandparents are alive, the kind of pain and stress they must be going through, thinking about killing siblings and the impact they have on their family. If they have other siblings, if how old was his brother? 31,
10 years apart.
If you have children, we had to consider all these things. So that's why I'm saying my thoughts and prayers for the family experiencing this right now. I don't look at it as black and white, as this guy killed his brother, put him under the jail.
Now, imagine you as a family member. That's what I was going to go to next.
Yeah.
Imagine you as a family member, right? You're mourning the loss of two people within your own family, right? And like, okay, as a mother, right? How do you maneuver this kind of situation? How do you deal with this kind of situation? Do you neglect one son because of what transpired between your two children? If at the end he's found guilty, do you go and like, what do you tell that son? Do you console him? Do you forgive him? Do you just abandon him? Do you continue? Do you support him? Like the kind of position, like perhaps as a parent you're put in. I don't know about the relationship within the family dynamics. I don't know. I'm just speaking generally. But for me, it'll be very difficult, I could imagine, to choose, because this is my son, he would have done something wrong, but it's my son. Do I just leave him alone and abandon him? Or do I give him support because that is the quote unquote motherly thing to do? But in giving him the support that he probably needs, Am I now going to feel guilty for doing that because my other son is 6 feet under?
Yeah, the parent, I feel like the entire family between a rock and a hard place.
Jesus.
Because on one hand, you could look at it as you took my child away from me. On the other hand, you're the only child that I have left remaining from the situation.
If it's just like 2 sons, right?
That's why I said
messed
remaining
up.
from the situation, because I don't know if they have other siblings. But I would not wish this on any parent. And if your name is Mrs. McIntosh, my prayers go out to you in this situation. It's a very, very unfortunate situation.
Well, I know some people from the family, but I'm not gonna call any names. Not a work. It really does pain my heart coming from East St. George. Seeing these guys on a regular, and I could pinpoint where I would see them within the community, seeing them on a regular, and having to talk about them in the news and see them appearing in these kinds of stories. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Miss Lady and my brother.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now, we just talk about crime in Sylvan and do something and all kind of thing. But if when a man kill a man and they get hold and we have to be considerate leniency and side for this or side for that and putting out your heart out, it come like we encouraging crime to me because I go get a demonstration of what we want to see. Let me tell you something now, illustration of what we want to see. You have 2 guys in America right now. Just use an example. They're 20-something years old, about 28 years old. I never see that on the news. They're planning to kill a parent since they're 11 years old. 2 brothers. And they end up stabbing father up and try to
please turn on your radio in the background. Give me a bit of feedback.
And burn down the house and thing. And burn down the house to see whether it was proven that to see whether it's some accident. And these fellas and them went, the police caught them, they went to jail, they went to court and things. And then afterwards now that when they actually judge, the parents and them feel so sorry for children, them they want to actually leniency for them and all kind of thing. At least not to give them a full penalty. But judge couldn't help it because he just realized the stupidness they're doing. Somebody stab you up, try to kill you, burn your place down and all kind of thing. You promise to that since 11 years old just to get your insurance money. That happened just recently, was in the news. And then he was telling me that these people, when they do it now to be leniency, so they spend 4 or 5 years in prison, come out back to do somebody else worse than that. And the crime breathing more heavy and stronger. So I believe when I hear people, the crime, you do the crime, you pay the time, or you get hang or something like that. I don't believe in no leniency. Bible really talk about capital punishment and all them kind of things. So once a man guilty of something, if it's an accident, to make a difference. But when you work for the planning thing, a man more than 1 or 2 stab or chop. That means you're willfully doing this kind of thing. What kind of leniency we thinking, and then when you don't talk about crime so high,
okay, understood.
And all this kind of thing,
all right.
and try to make people feel that we saint and all kind of thing. And then the same people are talking and believe that we saint is more criminal than a man, sometimes a man who commit a crime. So I believe that if a man do something, but a prime minister, a big businessman, a money people, you do the crime, you pay the price. So in a don't leniency with that. Forgiving my heart is right, but at the same time, me talking about leniency to what? To ease you up from what? Ease you up from what?
Okay.
When you don't ease up your plan, I'm so happy.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're out of time. I'd like to respond to that, but at 8:05.
Stick a pin.
Stick a pin in that. We'll be back. Up next.